So Q&A with Andre. My goal is simply to give you guys nuggets, to give you tools that you can use for the week. And then you come back home here next Thursday and we get to discuss and see what worked, what didn't work. I will tell you this. So mindset and the human dynamic, the spirit, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind. I'm addicted to this world. So for me, it's not a sort of like a hobby. I study this every single day. So the reason I'm telling you this is I study, I meditate, I learn every single day. And I'll tell you guys, for example, Einstein refers to everything that we see. Well, it's actually more of everything that we don't see as the field. So this ether, this universe, if you will, because what we see is the physical stuff, right? And some have powers where they can see spiritual things. You know, they see ghosts, they see dead people. They see different things or different dimensions, right? So they can go out of body, totally different level. But what I'm talking about is this consciousness that we call reality. What's amazing is that we can only perceive 0.3%. So listen to me. So if you have 100%, you have 100 apples, and I'm using apples for the sake of Chris Robinson. I got to keep things extremely simple. Simple is the key word here. So out of 100%, if you will, 0.3% is all we as human beings are able to be conscious of. Everything else is outside of us. So then you say, well, why are we made to only perceive 0.3%? And this is actual scientific data. It's not like shit I'm making up. I woke up this morning, 0.3. This is scientifically proven. And the CIA, funny enough, has many, many documents on exactly what this reality is. So my point is, Einstein talks about this as the field. And the idea is that everything that we do is inside of this field. And some people call it God, some people call it universe, some call it whatever really that you want. It really doesn't matter. It's still this thing. And the big question is this. First of all, what is it? And how do we use it? And why is it there? What is this field? And then you say, what is this consciousness that I have that I think this reality is? How does it play part in that field, in this matrix? Again, you can call it whatever you want, in God, in the world, whatever. But here's what's cool, and what I'm sort of learning, and I had this epiphany last night. I was talking to Bella and Ariana Bella and Tammy at the fire pit, and this is a crazy deep conversation, but I'll tell you guys about it because it was powerful. So the conversation was great. So there's a subconscious mind, and in the subconscious mind, that's where we store everything. This is all of our past experiences, whether we have many lifetimes before, and this is a reincarnation. Is it a continuum of whatever? And then when the physical passes this spirit, this database, this computer program, Tammy called it a microchip. It's like, fuck, so you're saying there's a microchip inside of us and everything's stored there, and then we do life based on this hardware, this hard drive? And I'm like, yeah, that's it. It's pretty simple when you break it down. The fuckery is that we complicate it. So my point is this. So Tammy wanted to know, what is this? What's consciousness? What is this this thing that we think is real? And how does how does it connect to the field? And I said, great fucking question. So as you guys know, I'm a phenomenal believer and a follower of, or disciple, whatever you want to call me, of Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton. And what these guys have done outside of epigenetics, what they've done is through science, they're proving that thoughts, and this is, get ready for this one, this is big. Thoughts are not in here. We think they're here, but then what is here? And is this consciousness Is it a bubble? Is it a balloon that contains all these things? Or is it literally in the physical brain? And the answer is the brain does not produce thoughts. Fuck. And that right there is like, what? This has to be craziness. This is malarkey, horse manure. Here's what's exciting. So they've been able to test now. You guys know in the old days they would put, these things on the head, and they would, put people to sleep, and they would read different, movements of the brain and thought patterns, etc. And that was one level of testing what the brain does. That didn't mean that we knew where thoughts were, so we assumed thoughts were in here. But here's where it gets exciting. They now are able to test thoughts from across the room. And you're like, what? Yeah, so what they've been able to do is to basically use this field, and these thoughts that I think I'm having in my own space, in the privacy of my own cranium, it turns out that that's false, and that is not the case. The field is the thought. And it goes deeper, because this is what happened to me last night. And I was not doing drugs, I promise. I was smoking a cigar, but it was just a cigar, regular tobacco, if you will. So then I thought, well, holy shit. And again, this conversation's like probably an hour plus. Tammy, Bella, we're all throwing stuff in and great questions. So then I thought, so if these thoughts are simply in the ether, the field, then Bella says, well, then if they're in the field, then how do you consciously make a decision between having a positive thought and a negative thought? So I said, that's a great, great question. And Tammy backs it up with, well, if you have the choice to make a negative or a positive thought, or to have a negative or a positive thought, then what is that based upon? Where does that need come from? And why are some people just stuck in negativity and drama? And so then I thought, man, you know what? Because if we're not creating the thought in here, but we are, this, Bella calls it a meat suit, that this is just a meat suit, and we're basically these beautiful spirits in this meat body for whatever time. So if I am in this physical experience, and I have this microchip, this database that sits inside of my subconscious mind, my spirit, my chest, my fourth chakra, and I'm doing life based upon it. I'm doing everything from now forward. I'm doing it based upon this programming. It's a program. That means that how does the subconscious and the conscious communicate? How does the conscious know that I now need to make a change? I'm done with that behavior. How do I get happier? How do I have more money? So how does it become a conscious thought? And what's amazing is that obviously in everything you guys know, I talk about, teach, coach on, etc. It's the physical. The physical is the missing link. The physical is what tells us if it feels good or if it feels bad. So when you have stress, where do you feel it? In the fucking body. When you have excitement, where do you feel it? In the fucking physical. When you're having sex, where do you feel it? In the fucking physical. And I can go on and on and on. You don't feel it out there, you feel it in here. So the physical body is such an important tool because it's the communicator, it's the bridge between the subconscious and the conscious. So then I thought, okay, cool. So the body tells me I'm done with, this is stressful. I don't like it. This gives me anxiety. This one gives me depression. This one gives me fear. This one gives me anger, blah, blah. So now I'm thinking I want to make a change. So does the brain create the next thought of I'm going to change. I'm going to do something new. I'm going to tell myself I'm a badass every day. Or, and this is what fucking got me, this epiphany. And that doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just telling you guys what happened to me. And you can also do the same drugs and get to the same place. But the exciting thing for me last night was, so if I'm not producing the thoughts, that means the thoughts already exist. So if the thoughts already exist, that means it's me going into the field and picking the thought I want to have at this moment. As you're walking through a garden, I'll take a tomato, I'll have a cucumber, I'll have some lettuce, etc. So that means that every single thing that we want is available to us. in this field? Why do some people have tremendous happiness and joy, and why do other people have misery? Why? All right, so that was my opening speech, my opening monologue. It wasn't all that, but meaning it wasn't prepared. It was just what I wanted to share with you guys as to what happens in my world as I do all this every single day. So bring on questions. Who needs what? What do you guys need help with? This is the Thursday self-development experience. And again, my goal is to give you guys tools, nuggets. Had a great session yesterday with Lori Ray. Kicked ass. Phenomenal human being with so much potential. It was amazing for me to be a part of. And like when you guys, just like showing up here, just because you don't have a question doesn't mean you're not going to learn anything. So for me, every time I do a coaching session, I learn every single time. So it's like you guys, yeah, it's like you think it's all about you. It's not. It's about us. We really have to understand that it's all about us. All right, so Jay, you're asking, do you believe things exist outside of consciousness? Well, so if everything is one, and this is the field that we're talking about, if everything is one and everything is God and everything is this vibration, because universe means one sound. So that means all of this is nothing but music and light. All of this. You can take any of this, any piece of matter under a microscope, and you can see vibration. So can something exist without the other? My point is, I don't believe there's outside or inside. I believe that everything is one. So consciousness cannot exist without this physical body. So I believe the subconscious, again, the spirit, doesn't matter what religion you believe in. I'm taking this to a scientific level for a reason, because we can have 80,000 different explanations just in Christianity alone. Well, you know, my church says this and my Bible says this, but let me tell you about my pastor. So I choose, and I'm a believer in God, don't get me wrong, but I do believe that shit's been manipulated. I believe, like today I had a great conversation, like, who the fuck was King James? Why does he have his own Bible? And who was he really? And that right there, you go down that rabbit hole, and once you learn that he was a Satanist, and you understand what happened to the Bible, and when the Bible was written, and who the fuck was Constantine, and a pagan, and he decided to put the Bible together in 325 AD, 325 years after Christ, or 295 because or 92 because he died at 33. There's so much shit we don't know. So I'm going to the scientific side because I do believe that religion has a lot of emotion in it. Like I did a post today about that you cannot, someone else cannot love you more than you love yourself. And people are like, bullshit, you're wrong. God loves me more. I have infinite love from God. And I'm like, who said that? Where does it say that? Where does that show me in scripture that God said that you are infinitely loved? And I don't know of it. I could be wrong. But so my point is, Jay, I'm taking this to, what's up, Beth Fromkin? Never apologize. We just are. We just exist together. There's no apology, man. We're one, damn it. This is like the most hippie conversation I think we've ever had. So, Jay, we're all one. And consciousness, we're talking about this reality, this dimension, if you will. Consciousness cannot exist without the subconscious, conscious, subconscious, right? So we're we live in a binary system. So then we say, what happens when we die? Like Bruce Lipton in a meditation, literally went into a meditation and asked spirit, hey, why do I need to be in body? What is the point? And whatever the response was, like, how else would you know what chocolate tastes like? So this experience, this body is here to bridge the conscious and the subconscious and have this life experience. And then the next question is why? That Tammy like kept pushing me last night. Okay, but why? What's the fucking point? Like, so because we last night got to the point where it's like, so this is nothing but a simulation, technically, right? We think we have free will and the conscious can do whatever it wants, and I can go out into the field and get whatever thoughts I want, and I can experience whatever I want based on my decision as to what experience I want. So I can say I'm a badass or I'm a piece of shit. I'm amazing. I'm horrible, whatever, right? I'm amazing. I'm fat. I'm you get the point. So I can choose my experience, which means basically think of a video game. So in a video game, you can choose your weapons or choose the mushroom or choose whatever, and you're going to have that experience in that game. And then what's the point of a game? To get higher points, to elevate through the levels of the fucking game. So then you say, then what's the point of this life? Because Tammy kept like, great, so awesome. So we're inside of a simulation. We're inside of a fucking game. What's the point? So you get to the top. Then what? So now we go to the next level where, and again, this is just my belief or my opinion, if you will. I believe there's a God, there's a phenomenal creator with phenomenal intelligence that was able to create not just this physical thing that nobody's figured out just yet fully. And then there's this energetic system behind this meat suit, as Bella calls it. So there's the next level of the spirit, the light body, the ether body, the body that goes out of body at night, that's still connected with the gray cord. If you haven't gone out of body, you should meditate and go out of body. It's fucking fantastic. So then Tammy says, what's the point? So then the answer is, well, if we're incarnated, then we have to ask why. Why are we incarnated? What's the point, right? Just to, like somebody up there is having fun. Oh, let's see what this fucker can do now. Come on, let's go. Come on, Andre. So it's either that or there are two, because the system, everything that we know about the system has duality, right? Good, dark, light, or good, bad, light, dark, yin, yang, all that fun shit. You get it. So if everything is a duality and there's God, there has to be the equal and opposite side. We call it Satan, we call it the enemy, we call it whatever you want to call it, bad, hell, anything. So if there is a battle as to a constant who's going to win, then our goal in this body, because I believe, and I just believe this, and I don't know if there's actual documentation behind all this, but I do believe that we're here only to grow, and I believe that we can only grow in body. That's just my belief. I'm not sure. Obviously, there's so much out there that we don't know. But I do believe that we're in body for a reason. I believe that we only grow spiritually in body by our choices, by everything we decide to do and take on. And that's why for me, self-development is everything. So the answer is ascension. Our goal is to elevate our vibration to get as high as possible in this lifetime, to get as high as possible in the vibration realms. Dr. David Hawkins, you guys know the map very, very well, the map of consciousness. So the higher we get into these levels, the higher we are in the God realm or in the higher dimensions of this beautiful universe. And of course, the higher we go, the closer we are to God. The lower we are, the closer we are to hell, Satan, enemy, ego, whatever. That's down. That's the concept of heaven is up. It's like, no, heaven's not up. Heaven's fucking everywhere. Hell's not down. Hell is everywhere. The problem is it's down because it's a vibratory numeric system. So when it vibrates low, right, it's low automatically, like bass waves in audio, very low. So that's down. Higher frequency, like in music, vibrates high and everything's up here, which is up. So just because the higher frequencies in music are high, does that mean that they're in heaven? Maybe. What is heaven? It's a state. What's hell? It's a state. You can choose either one right now by going into the field. Think of it like a garden and just pick your vegetables, pick your fruit. Pop, pop. You get to have whatever you want. So I hope I answered you there, Jay. That was a long answer to that question, but I think I covered it. If I did not, please let me know. But yes, it's all one. Karen Brooks. Yeah, I've been questioning a lot of things lately myself. So my soul in my heart's been a little lost recently. So Karen, tell me more. Like, what's your question? So questions are amazing. You please understand something, that we cannot grow without questions. Questions are the fastest way to get moving through any situation. So let's say you're stuck financially. A lot of people will sit there and say, fuck, money sucks. I don't have enough. How do I pay the bills? Job sucks. Boss is a moron, or the business is not working, whatever. So we'll sit there in this complaint phase, right? So we go to the field and we're going to pick out this thought and that thought, and we're going to pick out all these things that justify our current situation. And by justifying our current situation, you know what happens? We're now telling the field that we want more of the same, because what's our focus? Boop. Business sucks. Business is tough. My boss is an asshole. So the universe, the field says, oh, there you go. Have some more. Here you go. Because that's what you are taking from the field. And that's why taking personal responsibility for your every fucking move and every single thought, word, and belief is the goal. As you work with me, that's what I push you on. Take responsibility, because that's when you can grow. My point about questions is when you ask the system a question, the system goes to work for you to bring the answer, the result. So as opposed to, I don't have enough money, flip that bitch into, how can I have enough money? How can I be abundant? How can I have more than enough? How can I enjoy my business to where it's producing so much money that I'm able to help kids on the streets or whatever it may be for you? Our words, our tongue, the power that's in the tongue, holy Lord, the power that's in our thoughts. And I see I'm doing this because of conditioning, because but our thoughts that we choose to experience will bring that result. So questions are the most powerful thing out there. So Karen, you're really asking, does God really exist, or is it just the universe? But what's the difference? And this is where the church has been phenomenal at dividing shit. And we had, again, so many great conversations around, what has church really done? When I say church, I'm talking about all of them. I don't care, like, Beth, you're Jewish. I don't care if you're this Protestant or that Christian or the other one. It doesn't matter. They've all done the same thing. They've all divided. So where's the truth? Just, and we're not going to get into religion because I have a lot of knowledge on that, but that's not going to happen in this conversation. But to answer your question, what is the difference between God and the universe? So if it's all one and there's no separation, it's all one field, it's all one vibration, one sound, one light, how can this thing be without that? How can universe be without God? And how can God, and see, we call it God because that's what they told us to call it. So it's like, fuck, shit. Is it God? Is it Zeus? How many gods were there before they told us that there was only one? We don't know. Did they have more power when they had 12? And why 12? And why are there 12 houses in the zodiac? And why 12 apostles? And I can go on. And how about 12 tribes of Israel? And blah, blah, blah. You follow me? Point is, we've been lied to tremendously, and that's why what we're going through now is called the Great Awakening for a reason, because we are waking up to the bullshit, and we're in the age of Aquarius. And the problem is this: people don't understand that in the age of Aquarius, this is 100% about cleansing, water, aqua, and truth. All truth will be revealed, and all lies will be revealed. And therefore, through the lies, we get the truth. Does that make sense? So of course there has to be, and listen, for me, I always go back to, let's say there's no God. Okay, let's go there. Who created, or what intelligent being, source made this? This is pretty badass. And I'm not only talking about me being a badass, but I am a badass because that's my faith in me. But to create the human body, do you know how intricate it is? For the human body to create another human body, holy shit. We're not just made to fornicate, we're made to reproduce, to recreate. That's pretty fucking intense. Like, who made this thing? So, we go back and we're told that, it was the rib of Adam, and then, the some dirt. And I'm like, what? I mean, that makes no fucking sense. But we believe it. And there are scholars out there, when his rib and the dirt and come on. Fairy tales. But there's still a creation. And if you study the Sumerian tablets and understand exactly the laboratory concept of how we were created. There's still an intelligent being that created this. So back to your question, because I can talk about this for hours. We call it God because that's what we're told to call it. Point is there a creator? Absolutely. In my opinion, there's something had to create this. I don't think this amazing being called Andre came out because two rocks collided together. Come on. I mean, their discernment kicks in. We're smart. If we take all the emotional fear bullshit away that the churches gave us, and you literally step away from all of that emotion, the fear, because, I can't question God. I can't question the Bible. Well, why not? Why not? Doesn't the church preach that we're given free will? Oh, but we just can't question those things. Bullshit. Be you. Who's got the question? What are you guys, what are you dealing with? What are you struggling with? How's business? How's family? How's home? How's your fear? How's your sleep? Are you waking up excited every single morning? Are you in gratitude mode? What are you getting from the field? And maybe this is a different way to talk about this, because instead of saying I'm having bad thoughts, if we can go into, because I'm having is a sort of a dismissive way to look at what is happening. Because if I'm having bad thoughts, that doesn't take responsibility that I'm creating bad thoughts. No, I'm just having them because they could be introduced from an outside source. That's what that means. So I'm having bad thoughts doesn't tell me that I'm taking responsibility for these bad fucking thoughts that are giving my body a negative reaction called my chest is getting tight. Fuck, I don't like this. Fight or flight kicks in. Panic. Holy shit. Boom. So if we flip that into what's the next level? If we flip that into I'm choosing these experiences from the field. So instead of saying I'm having this thought, I can say I'm choosing this experience from the field. So you guys remember, you saw The Matrix, right? And I've told you guys for a long time, The Matrix is not a movie, it's a documentary. So when Neo wanted to right, remember he was he needed to learn karate or whatever martial arts. They stuck him in the computer system, downloaded the files for martial arts, and all of a sudden, one-handed motherfucker. So in the same fashion, he just picked the program. So my point to all of you, us, is pick your program every single moment of the day. So when you're having that thought or allowing that thought, that's because the field is also there to support our addiction. So this thing constantly, when I say this thing, here we go again. This thing, as I'm experiencing this negative thought that's playing over and over and over again, whose choice is it? It's mine. I have the power to choose a different experience. I have the power to get a different program, which means I can be happy whenever the fuck I want. I just need the program. I have to want the new program. And waking up is very, very important. You know Kung Fu, motherfucker? Boom. So what do you got? I am experience bouts of the positive angel on one shoulder and devil on the other. Well, but see, there you go. Beth, so when we put this outside of us, we're not taking responsibility, right? Because if you're saying there's an angel there and an angel there, that means that they are producing or they are giving you these experiences or these thoughts. And from everything that we just said, can we get rid of the angels for a minute? Can we get rid of the positive and the devil on the other? Get rid of them for a minute. And just look at this whole existence as an open field, all of it. It's just one field of everything. So you say, I want to be happy. Awesome. Can you choose? Can you pick the flower that is the happy flower? Beth, that's a question for you. Can you pick the happy flower? Can you pick the positive thought? Can you choose the program that says you're a fucking badass? See, we've been told so much and we've been conditioned so much, church, society, parents, because it all sort of comes from the same CIA teachings. Did I do that? I did. That, and look at, I was brought up Catholic, so in Catholicism, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but you go on Friday night, confess, boom, Saturday morning, you're out doing the good shit again. So what did that teach me? That taught me that I don't need to take fucking responsibility. I'll just go, basically take a shower. I used to call it a Catholic shower. I just go take a shower, confess my shit, and go fuck around again. It meant nothing because it was outside of me. I didn't have to take any responsibility for anything because, it's 5 Hail Marys and there's so many Catholic jokes. I can't. Damn it. All right. So Beth, you're saying, yes, you can choose. And this is the biggest tool for all of us. Responsibility. We have to stop blaming outside sources. Well, the church, well, the government, well, this senator, well, that group. Well, guess what? It was up to you to do whatever you wanted in that situation. So right now, if we get rid of the devil and the angel from the shoulders, because that's what we were taught, negative, positive, another form of duality, and you now can do what? You can choose the programming that you want to experience. So what do you want to experience, Beth? Everybody out there, what do you want to experience? Freedom. You want to feel free. You want to feel happy. You want to feel amazing. You want to feel respected, honored, appreciated, right? Everybody wants that. So go get it. So choose that experience. And what you'll find by choosing these experiences, these positive ones, by constantly focusing on the fact that I'm choosing, instead of I'm having a negative thought, I'm having a positive thought, I'm choosing this experience, I'm choosing this program from the field, from the matrix, from the game, from the simulation. And one day we will find out scientifically that this motherfucker, this whole thing, is nothing but a simulation. We're inside of some kind of little bubble. Beth, you know the rules, happy and free. That's the core of everything that I teach. It's all about happy and free. And Beth, we're going to do something at the boot camp. So check this out. So what Tammy called last night, the little microchip, micro SD, whatever, little hard drive, right? So I call the subconscious mind for me is everything, and everything that we've done up until this point in our existence, even past lives, it's all stored in this database. It's inside of this hard drive. So yeah, Tammy called it a mini SD card. So she's like, so all that shit's inside of a computer? And I'm like, yeah. Well, so we do current life and we see the future through this filter called the past. And this micro SD, this hard drive, is the blueprint. It's the blueprint of how I'm going to do the future. So Beth, my point is, at the boot camp, August 8, 9, 10, and that was a plug right there. For those of you who have not made a decision yet, chop, fuckity chop. That was good. So we're gonna launch the boot camp with the blueprint. And what I mean by the blueprint, we're literally gonna have sketch. We have the big paper pads and all that stuff. We're going to sketch out literally our blueprint as to what is in here. We're going to put that bitch in writing. We're going to have sketches of, hey, back when I was 2 years old, this situation happened. And then from there, we're literally going to draw lines like what's called a mind map. If you don't know mind map, mind mapping is phenomenal. Everything I do in business is on a mind map first. I mind map everything. So it connects these events and things and people and emotions. And then all of a sudden you draw this whole fucking thing out and it brings you to today. And then you say, well, holy shit. So I have relationships with people, let's say with a spouse, based on this, and now you get to see it because all these things happened. Well, of course I put my husband down. Of course I overlove or over deliver because I need their approval. Of course, look at all that's right here. Well, fuck, shit. And now you have the opportunity to say, well, fuck, erase, burn that paper, let it go. We can manipulate the past to give you a different experience for the future. Although, as you guys know, you cannot erase literally memories. Those are always going to be there. What you do with them is up to you. But it gives you the opportunity to flip the script on all these situations. But having this mind map, boom, it's going to be amazing. Blueprint. Okay. Any other questions? Who's got a question? Talk to me. That was the hardest to control bit. No more guilt. Oh, you're saying Judaism is full of guilt. Yep. All religions are. Oh, fuck. I come from Catholicism. Holy shit. And even Christianity, because after Catholicism, I met Tammy, and we started going to a few different churches. And, you know, my need for church is different than yours and Tammy's, etc. So I'm there questioning everything. I'm like, come on, what do you got? So you're telling me I'm going to go to hell? You know, I didn't deal properly with that. I'm like, fuck you. You can't tell me that. I'm going to go to hell if I don't, you know, anyway, the religion, we're going to stay out of religion, damn it. But scientifically, you can choose to be happy right now. All you got to do is choose that program. No, another beat down. Yeah, of course, that we beat down, but then we pick you back up. You know the rules. We knock you down, we pick you back up. This life, we get to do what we want with it. So understanding that everything in this space, we call it the field now. So from now on, well, we talked about Musk before you got on because you were late. I just said Musk should buy Facebook and fix it. So we get to create whatever we want. It's choice. Every single moment is choice, and this field is open to everybody. And you say, well, why does that person have? Why does Elon Musk have billions and access to even more billions where the other person cannot even pay their mortgage or their rent or their car or buy groceries? What is the difference? Was that person more talented when it came to creativity or money? Maybe. I do believe we're each born with, you know, whether it's astrologically or, you know, we came in with stuff from the past. I do believe that we each have our own gifts and talents. Absolutely believe that. Like, for example, what Tammy can do, I don't like doing, and things that I'm good at or great at, that's on me, right? And we're very different. We have similarities, but we're also very different. So great compliment. And our girls, they're both amazing, 14 months apart, but oh my God, are they different? So I do believe we come in with a certain spark, if you will, call it talents, gifts from God, etc., or just astrological moments as to where the stars were at that point. You know, I don't know. But outside of that, we can do whatever we want. So if you know, for example, that Elon's making, you know, 50 billion a year, and you go study him, can you also do the same thing to get the same result? And the answer is yes, because it's available in the field. Everything's available in the field. So all you got to do is want it. And then you got to take action to go get it, because the universe compensates action. I'm struggling with becoming awakened while everyone around me is asleep. So obviously this is getting into theoretically politics, but I talked about, Dawn, not sure when you got on, but I think the conversation today in general will respond to your point. It's not necessarily a question. Maybe if you want to readdress the same topic as a question, like, do you want to become more awakened? I'm not sure. So maybe ask me the question, or ask a question, please, in regards to that, and I'll do my best to answer. But point is, I think what we covered today is that if you take personal responsibility and for you and get what you want, choose the program that you want from the field, and for you, it's to become awakened, which means you're going to look for truth. What do you give a fuck about anybody else? Why would you give a shit about the others? And I'm not saying to be mean, rude, selfish, fuck you, world. No, I'm just saying you do you, boo-boo. That's from Kevin Hart. Focus on you. If your iPhone is not charged, how can you possibly use it? So you got to take care of you. You have to be number one. You have to love you. You have to respect you. You have to get what you need, what you want. The field is wide open. Create whatever fucking experience you want. It's wide open. So from that perspective, become awakened. And where does that stop? It doesn't. It's the constant journey of finding truth and searching for truth and fighting for truth. And everybody else can fuck off. How do you feel about multiple births? Are we the same? Are you talking about reincarnation, I assume? Are we the same spirit? Absolutely, soul. 100%. That's there. That life form, that eternal spark is what is the continuum. That's the one that incarnates and, you know, like gets into the meat suit, gets out of the meat suit. And, you know, we're taught again that we should not celebrate the growth in this life. We consider this life because the body is here. but we're not celebrating the fact that that spirit hopefully grew. So if we back up a little bit and, when people pass, like mourners and people like, you can hire in Eastern Europe, you can hire people to come cry at funerals and, oh, Lord, why? Why, Lord? That's the thing. But we're crying over a body as if that spirit is no longer there. But then where does the spirit go? But we say, well, it goes up to God. So then why the fuck are we crying? Oh, so the spirit went back to God, but I'm going to be selfish and cry over this body that, we had some good times or whatever we did. That was temporary. We know this is temporary. So what the fuck is wrong with us that we mourn, we cry, celebrate? If we know we're spiritual beings in a physical experience, shoof, let's party. Anyway, small things. Bev Keys, welcome. Hello, you're welcome. Welcome and you're welcome. Good. If I answered it, awesome. Dawn, beautifully. They have personality traits that are the same that I don't worked hard to separate. It has been tough and connection is so strong. They have personality traits. Oh, triplet. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And twins and triplets and quads and all that fun stuff. Why they choose to come in together. And I do believe these are contracts when we embark on a next life. Like I believe we choose our parents. I believe there are contracts before we come in, etc. So why you came in with triplets, that's something for you to figure out. We will talk about your blueprint, damn it. And yes, they're also different. And I understand exactly what you're saying. I will give you guys this. What's up, Dave, out of Long Beach? We'll wrap with this. You're asking about, I think 3 people brought up Elon Musk. And not to get into politics, but from a place of awakening and becoming enlightened for all of us in this journey, of ascension, if you will, of becoming just better spirits, because that's what this is about. You want to vibrate higher every single day, and we do that through love, acceptance, truth, etc. So I believe I think there are 2 roles that are being played here. I believe that Elon Musk used to be a horrible, bad, evil, all that fun shit. When things started cleaning up, and yes, now we're about to go into politics for a quick second. So when things started being cleaned up, so I believe when things started to get cleaned up, obviously Trump, etc. Damn it, you guys pulled me into fucking politics. Here we go. So when things started to get cleaned up, and you guys know there are people being tried under military tribunals, etc. at Gitmo and also Washington, D.C., because military tribunals cannot take place on American soil. And that's how you know Washington, D.C. belongs to the UN, not the United States of America. And so point is, some people flipped. And what that means is some people made a deal. So it's either death penalty or you help us achieve what we want, and then your sentence, your penalty would be lessened, etc. So I do believe there are quite a few of these out there that have flipped, that used to be horrible, satanic, etc. And now they're on the, not that they will ever be good, but they're working for the good people, just to keep it very simple. On the flip side, if you study Elon's face, if you study his speech patterns, if you study him today from 20 years ago, you're going to see some differences. I believe there are 2 roles being played today. So just really, really look at carefully look at the earlobes, look at the ear, look at the inside of the ear. Look at his nose. His nose alone will tell you it's not the same person. And again, this is just my opinion, but look at the nose. The old Elon has a very bubbly nose right here, and the nostrils are flared. And today it's more, it's a lot skinnier, and things have changed. He used to be bald, or balding hard. Beautiful head of hair today. That doesn't just happen. So of course, MK Ultra, but MK Ultra, George, is mind fucked, right? Under control, spell, etc. It doesn't necessarily change the physical attributes. So anyway, so I believe that there is a there's a, whether we call it a clone, a masked human being, we'll find out one day. But I believe there are two that are walking around today, and maybe more. I don't know. There's a phenomenal video. This was supposed to be self-development, but check this out. There's a video out there that popped up yesterday, and I attempted to record it on my phone, like a screen record, and I didn't. But there's a great video that literally, it's on the fucking news, and it's a doctor that works for Disney, and he's being interviewed on the news channel of how they create these stars. How they created a Britney Spears, how they create Hannah Montana. And he literally talks about how in a laboratory, they create these fucking stars and they program them, these in a laboratory, with the best voice, the best dance moves, the best talent, the best acting abilities. And this is on fucking news. So talk about the Great Awakening and what is being revealed to all of us. And then you say, well, if Disney is doing this to Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, and all these other stars that we call them stars, funny enough, that's a different conversation. But can you imagine who we're watching really? How many clones are out there? How many have been replaced, removed? So Elon used to be very skinny body type. Then you look at Elon today, he's thickened up, big fucking head. Why? Go back to Bezos, Jeff Bezos. He used to be skinny little fucking dork. Big and buff today. Look at his head. Look at his whole physicality. What happened? People just get buff like that overnight? Dave Chappelle. There's another one. Dave Chappelle. There's a video of his cousin literally explaining how he was cloned. He refused, long story, he refused to play the game and they cloned his ass. And today, all these specials, all this stuff that we see out there, it's an actual clone of him. And he tells exactly like who set him up, who did it, who had him whacked. I mean, it's fucking deep. So look around, study, pay attention. Like when something looks different, look at Chris Rock. You'll see like 3 or 4 Chris Rocks out there. You'll see Chris Rock on stage here. You'll see Chris Rock in a commercial here. I mean, like totally different fucking people. I mean, like what? It's like you'd have to be stupid not to question. The problem is most of society doesn't. It's like, oh my God, it's Chris Rock. He's great talent, you know. Yippee. Yeah, Zuckerberg, 100%. Look at Zuckerberg 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and look at him today. He's a fucking robot. Literally a fucking robot. I'm not exaggerating. So again, I can go on and on and on and on. My point is, what we started with Elon, talking about Elon, and I truly believe he is working with the white hats, Trump, etc., to do good things because he doesn't have a fucking choice. So, yeah, you guys know I can talk about this for fucking hours, but we're going to wrap it up 3 minutes to the top. So for those of you that have not made a commitment to change your life and get to one of our boot camps, get going. I'm telling you, these 3-day events are magical. They're so life altering. And we have new systems that we're going to use in this next one in August. Go to our website, get information, shoot me a message, ask me questions, send Tammy a question. We're here for you guys. Anything we can do to help you elevate and ascend. Maybe that's what we'll call maybe we'll start theming these boot camps like Ascension Mastery. We'll figure it out. All right. George is saying, so anyway, so go to the website, badasseryfactory.com, get information, anything we can do, let us know. George is saying there's at least one more Trump, also maybe for protection reasons. So from what if you, again, great point, George. If you look at the Trumps that we see out there, he's like 20 pounds overweight here. He's perfect shape over here. He doesn't have all of this. His hair is different, looks thinner like this, looks 20 years younger. But then you see this video of him golfing. It's like, who the fuck is that? Point is, George, I believe there are way more than 2 Trumps. I don't have proof. Like nobody called me and said, okay, here's but just from what I watch, what I see, there are Trumps, and I believe his brother is also playing one of the Trumps. You know, he passed away 2 years ago. I don't believe that. Anyway, and clones are not perfect. Bingo. So you'll see masks, you'll see all kinds of stuff. God darn it, Schmarna, you guys pulled me into fucking politics on a self-development Q&A. Well, you asked the questions and I answer, so there you go. At least I'm off the hook. Love you guys. See you next Thursday. Bring your questions. Come prepared to class, damn it. And remember, bring your teacher an apple. Peace out.